When I first launched my design studio, Design Angel, I poured everything into building a perfect business brand, believing that alone would attract clients. And I thought, well, if the business looks solid, clients will come. But guess what? Nothing happened, just crickets. No clients, no business, just a lot of hard work without the result I hoped for. So that's when I shifted my focus and started doing something different. I invested in building my personal brand. Well, I started sharing my journey, connecting with others, and showing up online, being open and vulnerable. And in just about 6 to 12 months, everything changed. I got speaking engagement invitation, I got mentorship opportunity, a tons of podcast interview, and of course, I got some new clients starting to coming my way also. If I had relied on my business brand, it would have taken years to get this kind of result. So if you're ready and finally want to stand out, get noticed, and attract the right opportunities, this video will walk you through my personal branding framework that every woman entrepreneur needs today. Because the truth is, if you keep waiting, it will only get harder to break through the noise and also harder to grow your business. I know many of you are ready to take action, so I have created a worksheet to help you start implementing this framework. So be sure to download it and find the link below. I call this my 3S framework for personal branding. It consists of 3 essential parts. Let's start with the first step of the 3S framework, self-discovery. This is where it all begins, understanding who you are, what you stand for, and how you want to show up in the world. Without this foundational step, your brand will lack authenticity and direction. So how do you truly define who you are? Well, think about this. First is, what's your origin story? Second is, what's your mission? The thing that drives you every day. And what unique perspective do you bring to your industry? And what your core values, the things that you'll never compromise on. And finally, how do you express yourself through your personality? First, define your story. Start by reflecting on the key experiences that have shaped you. Ask yourself this question: what moments or challenges brought you to where you are now? What are the personal or professional milestone highlights who you are and what you bring to the table? Second, clarify your mission. Well, think about what truly drives you and why do you do what you do now? And also, what impact do you want to have? This is the deeper purpose behind your work, something that is meaningful not only to you, but also to the people you serve. Next is to identify your core values. Write down the values that are non-negotiable for you. These are the principles you believe in wholeheartedly, and that are the things that guide you to make decisions and take action. Consider things like integrity, creativity, empowerment, right? Whatever resonates most deeply with you. Now, you need to describe your unique perspective. Consider how you approach challenges, right? Or view your field in a way that is different from others. Do you have any fresh insight or strategy that go against the norm? Is there any unique perspective that makes your brand stand out and bring a genuine or new voice to the industry? For example, let's talk about my unique perspective. My perspective on branding is that whether it's personal branding or business branding, it is an essential tool for women entrepreneurs. I believe that this is a secret weapon to break through gender bias and build confidence, also secure your place in the market. And the best part is, you don't need to have a fully developed product to start building your brand. You can begin as early as day 1, and you should do that. Even if you are right now just have an idea, you can start building your brand. So this is my unique perspective. It may be against a lot of people thinking that you need to have a product in order to build brand, right? To think through everything, right? In order to build brand, you need to have a team in order to do brand. You need to have a big budget in order to build brands. And I do not think this is the right mentality. And that is my unique perspective in the space. Next, you have to describe your personality. How do you naturally express yourself and what unique traits make you you? Or whether it's maybe you have a sense of humor, right? Maybe you're compassion, maybe you're very bold. Those just make a list of the qualities that reflect your authentic self and how you want to be seen. Well, now that you understand who you are, it's time to move on to the second S, strategy. Self-discovery is very powerful, but without a clear plan, a strategy, it is very hard to bring that vision to life. Strategy is basically where we map out how you can consistently communicate your personal brand to your audience. Without a defined strategy, you'll end up starting from scratch every time when you create content. And that will drain your time, drain your energy, and even worse, it will likely end up you sharing the content that doesn't align with your brand's core message. So inconsistency like this will confuse your audience. That means you cannot build credibility or trust. That's why we really need a strategy in place. This is where the 7-11-4 rule, a strategy based on Google's research, can help you focus your efforts. The rule suggests that to build a strong brand presence, your audience should, number one, engage with your content for at least 7 times. That's the first 7. Interact with you 11 times. That's the 11. And then see you in 4 different places. Whether it could be a website, it could be one social media platform or another social media platform, or in live events, right? In-person events, or in e-newsletter. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like a lot of work. And yes, it does take effort. But I have a way to simplify it, and I call this the core content method. Here's how it works. Each week, create one piece of long-form content. It could be a video, it could be a podcast, that means audio, or a blog post that is written form, right? That is around 8 to 30 minutes long. And this piece of content becomes the foundation for your other content. Then you repurpose the long-form content by breaking it down into smaller and focused pieces for social media. So for example, you can have image with a brief summary of that long-form content to engage followers to kind of explore their full content. You can also do carousel. I have done this a lot when I first started building my personal brand. You can do carousel or slides that summarize the key point from your original content. You can also do quick posts, basically pull out the things that you say from the video, right? Create a graphic, like a quote. People like fluff quotes. And then highlight certain content that you have from the video or that long-form content. And also, you can do short reels, because if you do a video, you already have the long video, right? You can actually clip it, pull out the clips that is useful, that's meaningful as a short piece of content to capture attention. And if you have podcasts, you can actually pull out that certain clips from the audio and then make it a graphic and then create a short post again. And if you have a blog post, you can actually use part of it and then just recreate a short video from it and to create that short form content. Well, repurposing means you're not starting from scratch every time. Instead of creating separate content for each platform, right? You're crafting just one main piece of content and then rework it, right? So that you can reach your audience in different places. So here are my action steps. Number 1, step 1, choose your core content for the week. Decide what kind of long form piece of content you want to create this week. It could be a video, it could be podcast, it could be blog post, but make sure it has to be at least 8 minutes long. Ideally, shouldn't be more than 30 minutes long. Step 2, plan to create the repurposed content. So I have some example for you. It could be a summary image or post that link back to the full content. That's the easiest, right? And then you can also create 1 or 2 carousel or slide posts, right, with the key takeaways from the core content. And then you can pick out 2 to 3 quote posts, right, the things that you say, direct quote from your video, highlight that, right, and create posts from it. And of course, the easiest, if you are creating an audio or video content, just pull out the clips, short clips from that long form core content, and then create social media posts from that. And step 3, schedule across platforms. So share your repurposed content, right, across different platforms. It could be Instagram, right, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever your audience is most active. The aim, right, is to have at least one piece of content a day so that you are remaining top of mind. Step 4 is to engage thoughtfully. So when you post, don't just post and go away. When followers interact with your post, please make sure to respond thoughtfully and try to build that 11 points of interaction to different engagement, right? Different ways of connecting with your audience. Replying to the comment is one of the ways to do it. So I have a tip for you. Offer a free resource to engage them to join your email list. That's exactly what I do here at the beginning. I told you that I create a free worksheet that you can go along with this video, right? So you can do the same, offer something free so that you can get them into your mailing list. What's the good thing about this is that now you actually move them into another place that you can interact with them. So you increase the interaction point, you also increase the places that they interact with you. This all build the connection and trust with your audience. So this approach will maximize your visibility, keep your message consistent. You're not talking about all kinds of different things, all based on that one core content, right? Also allow your audience to see you in multiple places. It seems like you're everywhere to them. All this while just creating one piece of core content that will save you time, right? Also streamline your content creation process and also boost your brand presence. Hey, if you're finding this helpful and want more tips on branding, design, and women entrepreneurship, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Well, now we are at the final S in our 3S framework, which is shine. You've done the self-discovery, you build your strategy now. It's time to put yourself out there to make your presence known. Even with the solid strategy, many people really hesitate to show up consistently. And I know it is very hard. But if you're willing to do that, you can do it. You will really see results pretty quickly. Free for judgment, uncertainty about what to share, or even perfectionism always hold us back. But here's the reality. If you don't show up, no one will know who you are, what you stand for, and how you can help. And there are people out there really need what you have to offer. And if you don't show up, they can find you. And it's really not fair for them. So showing up consistently is really the key to establishing your brand. This means sharing content that highlights your expertise, align with your values, right? Also offer a glimpse into who you are. You might be wondering, how often should I be posting then? Well, the more the better. Well, ideally, let's aim at posting daily on social media. And if you have a free resources and get your audience into your email list, a weekly updates will work really well, right? And for a platform like YouTube, podcasts, right, those long form content, you can also do it once a week. And the key here really is to commit to a schedule. You can batch your content ahead of time, right? Schedule it ahead so that you can stay consistent. You cannot do it day by day, right? You already have a strategy, and let's commit to this schedule and do it. Now, let's talk about content balance. I recommend following 80-10-10 rule. So 80% should be expert insight. That means you're sharing valuable knowledge from your expertise. The tips, the how-to, industry trends, maybe case studies that really establish your authority, just like what I'm doing right now in this video. That's my expertise insights. And 10% should be efficacy. So that showcases your mission, your values, your vision. This is the why behind your work and help people connect with the purpose that drives you. I often share my mission, my values online, and that actually attract a lot of like-minded people who likes to connect with me. And a lot of time, the first thing we connect, we talk is that they really believe and support what I do here. And the other 10% will be personal. That gives you a glimpse into your personal life. It could be your origin story. It could be more personal, like challenges as an entrepreneur, or even just your hobby. And that really humanizes your brand and also build rapport. I am not very good at this, but I'm trying to do more of that. Really showing behind the scenes. I love hiking. Then I should share more nature photographies, times I go hiking with you guys. So that is that 10% personal content I should be sharing. So now, when you balance your content this way, you will build trust and then show a well-rounded version of yourself, right? That will really help connect with your audience deeply and easily. Okay, now let's get to action steps. Step 1 is to define your posting frequency, right? Choose a realistic posting schedule. I think it's always aim high, so aim at daily posting on social media. Also, weekly emails if you can do it. And of course, for your core content, should be a weekly YouTube video, podcast episode, or blog post. And if you can do it at the beginning, posting daily or having a long form content weekly, just do as much as you can. Maybe you start out with once a month and then 3 posts a week, and then as you get more comfortable, you can get to every 2 weeks you get long form content, and then maybe you increase to 4 posts a week. Do it slowly if you need to, but the preferred schedule will be daily posting, right? And then weekly long form content, and ideally also weekly emails. Step 2 is to plan your content with that 80-10-10 rule, right? 80% expert content, 10% your efficacy, and then 10% personal. So first, you need to list out your expert topics that you want to share, right? Your case study, insight, tips, whatever you have, list it out. And then you create a bank of advocacy topics that tie to your mission and values. The last is gather your personal story or interests that you are comfortable sharing. So all these things you can actually do it ahead of time. You don't have to think about it every single time. Whenever, I think my tip is really gather it. Think of your content as a bank. You try to deposit as many content as possible into that bank so that you can withdraw it every single day a little bit. Now, step 3 is to batch and schedule. So that means you need to set aside time each week or each month if you're not planning to do a weekly long form content, right, to create your content in batch. I do not recommend you to create content day by day, because I have done it before and it was very difficult and very stressful. So schedule the time to batch your content. You do at least 2 pieces of content in that one setting, that will be good. And ideally, you should be able to prepare a week or a month of content before you go schedule them. Pro tip, show up and engage. Remember, showing up isn't just about posting your content and then you run away. It's about really engagement, genuine engagement. So if people respond to your post, they have comment, respond to the comment. If people have question in your DM or in comment, please reply. And basically, you want to actively participate in those engagement and slowly build your community. And this is where the real connection really made. And sometimes I even go deeper. Some people, I might even have a phone or Zoom conversation with them, one-on-one conversation. So some of this might not be scalable, but this is something very important to do, especially when you're starting out. Well, now that you have learned how to build a strong personal brand, right, and consistently show your message, there's one more step that you will need to take everything to the next level. It's about making your personal brand and business brand align perfectly. So in the next episode, I'll show you exactly how to create a seamless connection so that both sides of the brand, right, can work together and amplify your impact. See you next time.